Welcome to the She Rise podcast. I'm your host, Jaya Rose, a spiritual lifestyle and business mentor, and I am here to help ambitious, highly sensitive women just like you and me embody unshakable confidence in your gifts and create a scalable business that nourishes you and gives you the freedom lifestyle your soul craves. Ready? Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the She Rise podcast. I am your host, Jaya Rose, and I was just interviewed last week, and it won't come out until the summertime because that's how popular of a podcast it is, on my good friend Jen Ride's podcast, The Vibrant Happy Woman. And as she was introducing me, she basically gave me a little coaching session and told me that I needed to rebrand my title. And she really wouldn't even go on with the interview until we came up with something really awesome. And here's what it is: a soul brand coach and keynote speaker. And when I actually said it to her, she was like, yes, that is so much better than a spiritual life coach and business mentor. Like, what am I supposed to refer you for? So this is going to be a fun episode, and I am trying on my hat. And actually, it's so fun because a soul brand coach is what I do. Everything I talk about, everything I do fits inside of this umbrella. And today, what I'm going to talk to you about, woohoo, crazy times we're living in, aren't they? I'm going to get down with it because I know that you might be scared. And I know that if you're not scared, you're paying attention and you're alert. And this is a really important time to have real, deep, meaningful conversations. So we are going to talk about the whole coronavirus situation and how to innovate, like what to do. And I'm going to give you a bit of a pep talk to bring you home to trust and deep inner knowing. Okay, so let's do this. I am sitting downstairs in my basement right now. I did not record this podcast earlier in the day because it does seem like life has sped up at the same time as slowing down. If you're listening to this in March of 2020, then you know what I mean because almost the entire world is quarantined right now with this virus running rampant, and everybody is so afraid. It's literally feels like an apocalypse is happening. And it's just fascinating to see how people deal with it so differently. And I did a live coaching session in my group, the She Rise community today, because I'm really, doing my best to show up in leadership in these uncertain times. And one of the things that I asked a gal who was asking me a question was, are you somebody who thrives in uncertainty? And in order to feel safe, you got to take action. Or are you somebody who needs to feel safe in order to take action? And it's a really good question to ask yourself because you might be responding to one of those things. So for me, I feel better and safer and just all around like I'm doing what I'm meant to do when I'm taking action. And when it is uncertain, I take even more action. So, but some people, when it's uncertain, it makes you close down and makes you fearful and you can't really move forward. So you need that structure. You need that certainty in order to do risky things. And I just think it's important to know. So however you're reacting is totally fine. And I don't think that it matters that much. If you're like, oh my God, I'm just a wreck. Well, just deal with your emotions, because in order to move forward in a really powerful way out of what's happening right now, the first thing to focus on is always going to be your emotions. And it's really about the emotional mastery. So people who are able to show up in stressful times in leadership, it's not that they're even necessarily better at leadership. They're just better at emotional mastery. Like they have practiced more. And so I want you just to think about where you are, but what I also want you to think about is where we're going. So I don't have serious predictions. I'm not an economist, and it's not even actually something that I pay attention to all that much. But I do know that this is affecting the way people think and feel. So I can't tell you what's going to happen with our economy coming up. There are people who are saying this is going to be a huge hit and, you want to like really consider. I personally don't feel that way, but I'm just not somebody who buys into that kind of a thing. Even that if that happens, I'm going to still probably think about it my own way. So that being said, I think an important thing to look at though is how people are responding and what they're thinking and feeling. So whether you have an online business or not, I can tell you that most people are thinking about how they could make money online. Imagine somebody who has had a consulting business and they've been doing it in person, or a coaching business and they've been doing it in person, or a healing business, and they're like, I wish I would have taken my business online. Well, now the whole world is home and everybody is online. And everybody is thinking, how can I move my stuff online? And so what I want to say is that if you teach people anything about an online business, this is a huge opportunity for you. And if you have an online business, it's a huge opportunity for you to dial in your messaging and your marketing and your visibility. So this is really, really important because I can predict human behavior. And what is going to happen based on this, whether this lasts a few weeks or whether this lasts months, what's happening right now is people are in shock. And in my experience with shock, it takes a couple weeks. So for some people, it might take up to a couple weeks before they wake up out of the shock and go, okay, I better actually get my shit together and really figure out what my game plan is, how I'm going to move through this. But a lot of people are just in total shock. They're losing jobs. Money is a real concern for a lot of people, and they just don't, they're sort of like feeling the collective pain and not able to move forward. But that's going to wear off, okay? So even if the whole world is quarantined for 3 months, within the next couple weeks, things are going to change a lot. So right now, all you're seeing is information on like the coronavirus, and everyone just wants some certainty and everyone wants to figure out what's going on. But again, once that wears off and it's like, okay, well, all we know is that we don't know. Everybody needs to come up to that solution, okay? Because that is the solution to all uncertainty, is surrender. I have already come to this. I don't know, but I know what I do know, and I am going to leverage it, and I know how to run an online business, and I know how to teach people to do that. Therefore, I'm going to show up in that space as a leader, okay? And so this is the thing that if you haven't come to yet, I know that I am X, Y, and Z, and I know I have leadership in X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to show up powerfully in that. Because that, my friend, is where the money is. That is what people need. And so as people start waking up to what's happening right now, we have really great opportunity as leaders to show up for people. If you've been wanting to start an online business, this is the time. If you have had an online business and you have just been, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, go all in. If you help other people run an online business, be super visible right now. And this is the thing, because as we move forward in the next couple weeks and more people start going, oh, I better get my shit together. I'm going to take action based on what's happening now, not what might happen in the future or might not happen. What's happening now. And that is going to lead a lot of people to taking action, to investing in coaches, to investing in that healing that they need. When someone takes a business online, I will tell you, you probably already know if you're in the online space, but there are multiple facets of expertise needed. It's not just a business coach. Just a business coach I would never recommend just hiring a business coach. Hire a specialist. Hire a team of people who focus on all different things. Because just a business coach, these whole programs that are 3 months and I'm going to teach you how to create a whole online business. No, you're not. No, because nobody's genius is everything. And this is really important because this opens up the conversation for a lot more people. Where when I started my online business 5 years ago, the conversation was more narrow and people were really believed like, oh, I took a 3-month program and now I'm making multiple 6 figures. And this is the thing, for most people, that's not going to be true. That may be an exception to the rule, but the rule for most people is that it takes time to create a brand. It takes time to develop offers. It takes time to create a niche in the marketplace. And the smartest thing to do is to hire people who know how to do these things, who know how to help you get clear on your messaging, who know how to help you stand out and leverage social media, leverage communication and, online video and podcasting and writing. All of these different skills are super, super important to understand where what you do. And again, if you help people with these things, if you're like, yeah, Jaya, I teach people this, dude, people need you. And not only that, but I will tell you that in running my online business for the last 5 years, I have healed more than I can even tell you in this podcast. I have gone to so many different healers. I've done so much mindset work. These internal things are really needed too. Because if somebody has a huge block to visibility and it's based on this like childhood trauma of feeling like they were invisible and if they were seen, they were treated badly, this is a huge thing. Like we need healers on board. And what we need more than anything is collaboration and co-creation, because as I'm saying this, can you see how many different pockets of solutions are needed? And as we show up as leaders and we lock arms with other people that say, oh, you've said you were a online business coach, but actually you're really good at X, Y, and Z. Well, I say I'm an online business coach, but I'm really good at X, Y, and Z, or actually LMNOP. And now let's put it together. This is what I'm coming to, is that I want people on my side. I don't want to have to do everything. I want to do the things that I'm good at, which are really the brand development, like the nuts and bolts of your brand. Like, what is your message? How do you show up? What is your brand identity? And what's the voice of your brand so that you can move it into the world and be visible? That's the stuff I love. That's not everything. That's a great place to start or a great place to come back to if all you have is like, how do I want to say this, sort of like masculine structure. Then you got to come back to this inner working of what is your brand actually saying to the world? Like, what is the movement you want to create? And what is the messaging around that? How are you showing up powerfully as the embodied leader inside of it? And what are the stories that really benefit your brand and also validate your message, okay? And so I'm saying this to you because this is what you need to be able to do right now. You need to be able to say, this is what I do, A, B, C, D, E, F. This is where I fit. And what solution is that creating? And I know that this is like a lot more kind of fired up and revved up than a lot of my podcasts are, but I feel like this is really important. I just want to give it to you straight because I help a lot of highly sensitive empaths. And the issue that happens for highly sensitive empaths often is this feeling like you're so different than everyone else that it's okay if you're acting different. Like you're like, well, it's okay that I'm hiding and not showing up because of this, but it's not really okay. And it needs to be mastered. The only way that I can show up and still have a really powerful voice right now is because of the embodiment work and the emotional mastery and personal power work. So if that's where you're at, you've got to start there. It's identifying where you need to strengthen right now so that you can do your work really powerfully. Because This is an amazing time. And I don't want you to fall into fear, and I don't want you to get caught up in whatever the Dow Jones is saying or whatever the predictions are financially, because that is not all of reality. There is no less money. And this is what people get so just caught up in, is like, I have less money. I made less money. But that, right? Okay, so say that feels true. That's not true. It's not true that there is less money. It might be true that you're experiencing having less money, but it's not true that there is less money. And so it's really important to stay out of that fear and in the flow of abundance and in the flow that everything will always work out, because everything has always worked out in your life so far. Everything. And just because there is impending doom, this virus that is killing people, listen, people are dying anyway. This is life. Life is impermanent. And people get really freaked out when they're faced with the impermanence of life. But I will tell you something. It is an opportunity to fucking move. That is what it is. That is why we die. Because if we didn't die, we would just be depressed and sit on our asses and never have any reason to make a move. This is a call to move. This is a call to rise, and a call to leverage spiritual work and work your light in the world. So, my friend, what are you going to do? What action are you going to take in the next week, in the next 2 weeks, while people are in shock and trying to figure out what to do next? How can you have an answer for them? What answer do you have? And if you need help with this, I want you to reach out to me. I have a series of 4 workshops coming up. They are sliding scale from $59 to $199. You get to pay whatever you can in between that. And they are the foundation of these building a solid brand and movement around your message and your voice and your story. I can tell you the first one is about having a clear vision. As vision right now, the clearer your vision, the more easily you're going to get through this, and the more easily you're going to lead other people through it. The next one is about creating a freebie that attracts. So really putting out this free content that people are drawn to and they can recognize the solution you create. And then it's storytelling, because storytelling is the crux of a good, solid brand. And then it's She Rocks the Mic. So I'm talking all about magnetism and how to show up really powerfully inside of your visibility, on video, on stage, on a podcast, wherever you are. And each one of these workshops, like I said, is a sliding scale. I'm going to run them live. You're going to get access to the replay. It's super valuable and tangible. It's going to give you a quick boost and be able to help you create momentum now. Of course, they're all online. And I will, I think I'll just put my email, because I don't have like sales pages and stuff. What I'm doing, because it's a sliding scale, is I'm just having people message me on Facebook and saying, okay, which workshop do you want access to? And then how much are you going to pay? And I just send you a paypal.me link. So I'm just going to do enrollment really easily that way. What you can do, I don't know if there's like a messenger link. I'll try and find out, but I'll just put my Facebook, and all you need to do is message me and say, hey, I want to sign up for one of your workshops, or I want to hear more about them. Because this is these are important things that I'm teaching. And if you have not mastered them, then they're for you. Also, use it as a model, create some low cost offers, pivot, switch things up. Meet people where they are, figure out what people need, and give it to them. That's what this is time for, innovation. It's time to innovate and work your light. Don't you feel it? So please message me if I can help you in any way. I also have a really vast network of other people who are leaders and who are really powerful in their own way and in their businesses. And I am happy to refer you to somebody. I really want to be the person, a source of generosity, and also just a source, what, there's like a word I'm looking for, but so that you can come to me and you don't have to buy from me. Like if it doesn't work out for me to help you, I'm okay with that, because I just want you to be positioned in a really positive way and create a standout brand that people know what you do and they know why you do it and they know why you're the only one who can do it. And whoever you need to go to have help with that, I want that for you. So please reach out, tell me what you're struggling with, tell me what you need, and I either can help you or someone else can, I promise you. Okay? So I hope that this found you well. Like literally, I hope you're well. I'm sending you so much love, so much healing. Please breathe into the opportunity at hand. Take good care of yourself and just keep waking up to the knowledge that everything is going to be okay and that you can deal with anything. You can. And if you feel like there's somebody who needs to hear this, will you please share it out? Take a picture, post it on your social media, let people know that this conversation is happening. This is a pep talk I think probably a lot of people need to hear. I would so appreciate you sharing it out. And if it feels aligned for you and you have some extra time right now, go to my iTunes and leave me a review on the She Rise podcast. I would so appreciate that. And just be well, okay? And as always, remember, when you move, everything moves.